The South China Sea is a cauldron of history, ambition, and geography. For centuries, its currents have carried goods, cultures, and conflicts. Today, it's one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. Over a third of global shipping passes through, and trillions in trade depend on its stability. Beneath its surface lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, luring energy-hungry nations. The sea is a stage for grand geopolitical drama, where the interests of great powers collide. The Philippines, on the sea's eastern edge, is a frontline state in this contest. The United States insists on freedom of navigation, with regular naval patrols projecting power. The South China Sea is a microcosm of the 21st century's central challenge, managing the rise of a new power in a world order long dominated by another. The Philippines, once seen as a weaker player in the South China Sea, is changing its approach. Manila has shifted from passive diplomacy to assertive transparency. Instead of direct confrontation, it now uses legal action, public transparency, and stronger alliances. Incidents are documented and released in real time, turning local disputes into global news. The Philippines is no longer passive, it's actively shaping its destiny. In this contest, resilience is its greatest strength. One of the boldest moves in the Philippines' playbook was taking China to court. In 2013, Manila initiated arbitration under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. The case challenged the legality of China's 9-line. The Philippines didn't ask for a ruling on sovereignty but for clarification of maritime rights. China refused to participate, but the tribunal proceeded. The Philippines presented evidence: historical maps, geological data, expert testimony. In July 2016, the tribunal issued a sweeping ruling. China's 9-line had no legal basis. The court found China had violated the Philippines' sovereign rights and condemned its artificial island construction. The ruling was final and legally binding, a monumental achievement for the Philippines. Though China rejected it, the award became a cornerstone of Philippine foreign policy. It provides a legal and moral foundation for its claims and actions. The ruling transformed the narrative from a territorial dispute to a matter of upholding a rules-based international order. It allows allies to support the Philippines without taking sides on sovereignty. The paper shield is now a powerful tool in Manila's arsenal. Every diplomatic statement, every joint exercise references the award. The Philippines proved that even a smaller nation can use international law to level the playing field. The world took notice, and the rules-based order gained a new champion. The front lines of the South China Sea conflict are often manned by fishermen, not soldiers. For generations, Filipino communities have depended on these waters for their livelihood and identity. When foreign vessels block access, it's an attack on survival. Fishermen like Roberto, chased by Chinese Coast Guard ships, embody resilience, returning despite the risks. Their stories humanize the conflict, transforming it from a dispute over rocks to a struggle for basic rights. The government now integrates fishermen into its transparency strategy, inviting journalists to witness their daily challenges. Images of small wooden boats shadowed by massive vessels have become potent symbols. These stories galvanize support at home and sympathy abroad. Fishermen are no longer just victims, they're active participants in the national strategy. The government provides support, subsidies, alternative livelihoods, and increased Coast Guard presence. This isn't just welfare, it's national security. Maintaining a civilian presence asserts sovereign rights in disputed waters. Through their daily work, fishermen defend the nation's claims. In the South China Sea, every cast net is an act of quiet resistance. The Philippines knows its economic health is key to national security. Over-reliance on any single partner, especially China, creates vulnerabilities. China is a major trading partner, but this relationship is a double-edged sword, offering growth but also leverage. To counter this, the Philippines is deliberately diversifying its economic ties. It's strengthening relationships with the US, Japan, Australia, South Korea, India, and the EU. Japanese investment in infrastructure and American leadership in business outsourcing provide stability. A diverse portfolio of partners reduces risk and cushions against economic coercion. This strategy also creates a network of stakeholders invested in Philippine stability. Economic partners become soft allies, supporting a peaceful, rules-based order. Diversification isn't just foreign policy, it's smart economics. The government pursues new trade agreements and upgrades infrastructure to attract investment. Economic resilience is a quiet but critical part of the Philippines' overall strategy. A strong, diversified economy underpins a more assertive and independent foreign policy. No nation stands alone in today's complex world. The Philippines is weaving a web of alliances, starting with its revitalized treaty with the United States. The Mutual Defense Treaty and Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement give U.S. forces access to key sites, improving readiness, not building permanent bases. Beyond the U.S., the Philippines has forged strong security ties with Japan and Australia. Japan provides patrol vessels, Australia shares intelligence and conducts joint exercises. These relationships create a layered security architecture signaling the Philippines is not isolated. European powers like the UK, France and Germany have increased their Indo-Pacific presence, supporting a rules-based order. This web of alliances is a force multiplier, providing political support, training and modern equipment. Joint patrols and exercises enhance capabilities and complicate any potential aggression. An attack on a Philippine vessel could now risk drawing in other nations. Networked security raises the cost of aggression without an arms race. The Philippines is leveraging partnerships to bolster its defenses. In this diplomatic dance, strength comes from connection. The message is clear: the Philippines is not alone. ASEAN has long been central to regional diplomacy, but its consensus principle often weakens its response to the South China Sea. Some members' close ties to China make unified action difficult, frustrating claimant states like the Philippines and Vietnam. The Philippines' assertive transparency is shaking up ASEAN's traditional quiet diplomacy. By publicizing incidents, Manila forces the issue onto the regional agenda, pressuring others to respond. This shift is causing subtle changes within ASEAN. Vietnam, Malaysia and Indonesia are becoming more vocal. The Philippine approach offers a model for smaller states to push back without open conflict. It demonstrates the power of information and law. Informal coordination among maritime states is growing, even if formal unity remains elusive. However, divisions persist. Countries reliant on Chinese investment are reluctant to criticize Beijing. The challenge is to defend national interest without fracturing ASEAN. The future of ASEAN's relevance depends on how it navigates these shifting sands. The Philippines is testing the limits and possibilities of regional unity. The South China Sea struggle is more than a regional dispute, it's a test of global order. At stake are two visions: a rules-based system governed by international law, or a world where might makes right. The Philippines, by grounding its strategy in the 2016 Arbitral Award, champions the rules-based order. If powerful nations can ignore binding rulings without consequence, the entire system weakens. That's why countries far from the region are invested. Erosion of law in one place threatens stability everywhere. The Philippine strategy offers a model for smaller states navigating great power competition. It's not about choosing sides, but leveraging law, coalitions, and information to defend interests. Creative statecraft can be as potent as military power. The world is watching how Manila's approach plays out. Other nations facing pressure from larger neighbors are taking notes. The Philippines' silent revolution is a real-world lesson in 21st century diplomacy. Its outcome will shape the future balance between law and power. The stakes are global, and the test is underway. The Philippines is playing a long game in the South China Sea. Its strategy, transparency, legal assertion, alliance building, is about endurance, not quick wins. The goal: raise the costs for any country seeking dominance through coercion. This requires national will and consistency across administrations. Best case, sustained pressure leads to moderation and compromise, perhaps joint resource agreements. This would be a victory for the rules-based order, proving that legal and diplomatic pressure can yield peaceful outcomes. Worst case escalation, harsher gray zone tactics, or even military incidents. The Philippines walks a tightrope, assertive enough to defend its interests, careful not to provoke conflict. Its web of alliances is a crucial deterrent, raising the cost of aggression. Most likely the future is a tense stalemate, periods of calm and tension but no final resolution. The Philippines' success will be measured by its ability to endure, maintain access to resources, and uphold sovereignty. This is a test of national resilience, a long-term struggle for the soul of an archipelago nation. The world will judge the outcome for decades to come.